What's up, my friends? In this video, I'm just kind of here for a quick kind of news update on the Army Combat Fitness Test, otherwise known as the ACFT. Now, if you're not familiar with the ACFT is, well, I'll leave a link down in the description to a more in-depth video where I talk about the ACFT, but for the quick version of it, essentially the Army is getting rid of the standard 2-mile run, push-ups, and sit-ups fitness tests that they normally do, and replacing it with this one that they feel is more effective for establishing a soldier's physical fitness abilities in a combat environment. Now, currently there's something like 62, 64 something units of active duty National Guard and Reserves that have already been fielded all this equipment, things like the weights, the sleds, the medicine balls, everything that you need to be able to do this new Army Combat Fitness Test. So there's been units trying out here and there. I've talked to many soldiers that have done it and everything currently and have done it for practice. But as far as the timeline goes, as far as when it's going to be implemented, we know a little bit more about it now. So it's always been where they knew sometime in 2020. At first it was the beginning of 2020 possibly, maybe the end of 2020. I think the latest was mid-2020, but now we have a little bit better of a timeline and how they're gonna kind of get to that timeline. So of those units that have the equipment, which it's slowly getting to the point where almost every unit has it now, but not everyone still, but of the units that have the equipment that can start doing this, starting in October, they're gonna be required to do 2 practice or diagnostic ACFTs. So they'll do 1 diagnostic or practice ACFT in October, and then ideally within about 6 months, they should do a second one. That way it leads up to by mid-2020 that it is going to be official, and that is when they're gonna do for record the Army Combat Fitness Test. That means that one is gonna be the one that counts. Currently, pretty much all units still do the push-up, sit-up, and the 2-mile run for the fitness test of record. But come mid-2020, everybody should be transitioning over into this new Army Combat Fitness Test. They would have done 2 practice ones, and then leading up to it's go time, and it's time to now adopt this new Army Combat Fitness Test. So like I said at the beginning of this video, I've talked to several soldiers that have done this new Army Combat Fitness Test, and they said that for the most part, it is a lot more challenging. You are a lot more tired when you do this because there's more events. Instead of 3 events, now there's 6 events. So definitely by the time it gets to that 2-mile run, you're a lot more tired because previously you were doing the push-ups and the sit-ups and then doing the 2-mile run. Well, now you have 5 events before you finally get to the 2-mile run. So they say it's definitely needed for the extra time limit, but it is definitely more of a challenge to do the 2-mile run compared to after doing the push-ups and sit-ups. Now, pretty much most of the soldiers have said that there are some events that are easier and fairly easy to accomplish, but other events that are much more challenging. So kind of with that, a lot of soldiers said that yes, it is fairly easy to pass the new Army Combat Fitness Test compared to the old PT test, but it is definitely really, really hard to max it. As before, if you did so many push-ups, so many sit-ups, a 2-mile run, and so much time, then you could score 100 points in that event. With this new Army Combat Fitness Test, they're saying that there are some events that it's practically impossible to get 100 points in that event. So one of the examples is there's an event where you have to throw, I think it's a 5-pound medicine ball behind your head, and they're saying you have to throw it really far in order for that to make that distance for maxing 100 points. Some soldiers are saying that, that now when it comes to the run, even though on the previous fitness test they were able to max the run, on this new one they're not. It's like they're too tired, they can't, get that good of a score to be able to get 100 points, but they can still pass it, of course, but it is definitely more of a challenge to be able to max it. And I actually have heard that nobody thus far has actually maxed the new Army Combat Fitness Test. I've heard of some people getting pretty high scores, but still not getting 100 points in every event. As like I said, there's some events where apparently that's pretty ridiculous to be able to score that high because of the requirements to get that many points in that event. So I don't know, we'll see if it ever gets to a point where someone is in good enough physical shape that they can get 100 points in every event, but from what I'm understanding, that's practically impossible, but it eventually could possibly happen, and I'm sure it probably will. So a lot of you might be wondering, do I need to get ready for the Army Combat Fitness Test, or should I still be practicing my push-ups, sit-ups, and 2-mile run? And really, it doesn't hurt to do both. It doesn't hurt to still do push-ups, sit-ups, and 2-mile run, because it will still help you. But likely, if you're someone who, say, is getting ready to go into the Army here real soon, well, you have basic training you have to go through, or even OSIT, and then AIT, and then by the time you get to your unit, you're probably really close or already starting to do the new Army Combat Fitness Test at your unit. So it's a good idea to kind of prepare for it. They're probably not implementing it yet at the basic training or OSIT level or AIT, but probably sometime mid next year, they probably will be. So be ready for that. If you're someone who's maybe still in high school, not gonna be joining for another year or whatever, then yes, you might wanna prepare for the Army Combat Fitness Test because you likely will be doing it. But if you're someone who's getting ready to go to basic training really soon here, I would prepare for both. You're probably gonna do the normal push-ups, sit-ups, 2-mile run, and basic training, but then shortly after you get to your first duty station, you're probably gonna be doing the new Army Combat Fitness Test. So So I have a question for any of you viewers out there that maybe are currently in the Army and have taken the Army Combat Fitness Test. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Army Combat Fitness Test down in the comments section. Also, what events do you feel like would be pretty much impossible to max or really hard to max from your experience of taking the Army Combat Fitness Test? All right, so just kind of a little news update on the Army Combat Fitness Test. If you enjoyed this video, throw a thumbs up on it. Check out some recommendations over there for some other videos. I got links down in the description for social media, my P.O. box, and much more. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching. I'm ThatChrisChaos, and I will see you next time. See ya.